What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, FTC. Lina Khan, she's no longer there. I guess she got fired, or I don't know. Trump came in and said, "You get out of here," or whatever he said. "You leave now. You're going to not be in this job anymore." Okay, I've never tried Trump, and that was the first time, and I'm gonna stop. Anyway, so the whole Activision Blizzard King thing that Microsoft acquired eventually was like a 2-year ordeal because of the FTC. CMA, a little bit, more so the FTC, because Lina Khan had to stick up a booty hole. It was like the mandate of the administration, the Biden administration, by the way, that they wanted to just, I mean, I guess it's, I don't know if it's a Democratic thing or a Democrat, you know what I'm saying? Their party is like against big business. I mean, and there's the thing about that. Like, sure, you should be looking out and watching these big businesses because some of them are evil and they just want to take over the world, make all the money and destroy and leave a wake of destruction in their path. Some are a little more altruistic and they're like, yo, you know, we got a lot of money, so we're going to do some good stuff and we're going to make some money and then we're going to do some more good stuff and blah, 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 and we're going to have a bunch of people going to have jobs and blah, blah, blah. Right? So, yes, it is important to have oversight on these giant corporations, of course. But what that was, the FTC fiasco during the ABK trial, was ridiculous, right? And, you know, we can go through it. This is why I respect Sarah Bond on a whole nother level, because I heard the segment that they aired it. It was like live. And they had Sarah Bond was up there. She was talking to the FTC. I guess it was the FTC lawyers were trying to, get some information or whatever, or argue or whatever they were doing, because it didn't sound like the lawyers knew anything about anything, right? But Sarah was like, "Can I cow? Or you get?" She was doing all the moves. I was like, "Yo, can I have Sarah Bond as a lawyer because just on the something? Because she's just woo." I was like, I need a partner like that. Let's go. I think everybody does. Anyway, I think it was yesterday, today. It probably was today. Who knows? The FTC had filed an appeal for, they had, I don't know if it's called dismiss. I don't know what the terminology is, but their deal, they tried to stop the ABK deal again on some other thing past the point of actually, Microsoft actually sealed the deal, and then FTC is still trying to gum up the works, right? So they filed an appeal for something, and that appeal was smack down. So they're done. FTC is done. Microsoft is free and clear. They're like, yeah, boy, whip. And they said, and they flipped open the checkbook. Who's next? Who's going to get this money? Last I heard it, I think today or yesterday, or the other day, that they have $90 billion just chilling, just ready to go, just like in the couch. They got $90 billion in quarters in the couch, and they're like, yo, we need to throw this couch out, but I mean, we ain't gonna throw all the money. I think let's spend the money, get some chicken wings or something with the $90 billion, and then we throw the couch out. And so they gonna buy something. They got to buy some stuff, I guess the longer they hold on to it, the worse I don't even know if the numbers are going up and down, interest rates. I don't know what's going on with the value of money right now. I mean, it's definitely going down, US dollar, but that's a whole nother channel, topic, and person, not me, not this one. Anyway, they were unable to thwart the behemoth that is Microsoft. And now Microsoft is open to continue to grow. Now they're 3.4 billion. Excuse me, that was a big mistake. 3.4, I think 4 or 7 trillion dollar company, right? They're growing a lot, because I remember when they had reached $1 trillion status, and that wasn't too many years ago. Now they're already at 3. And you're like, what's past trillion? And I think I think Dirt kind of got this mixed up. He said zillion. I'm like, really, zillion? That's funny. I think so. He said it, or he was just repeating somebody in chat, but I think he just said it because he's a Sega head. True to his heart of Sega. Sega, he bleeds blue. Let's just be real. He bleeds black and red. What is Sega's color? Honestly. I mean, their logo's blue and white, right? Sonic's blue and white. So I guess it's blue and white. But it's too close to PlayStation, right? Anyway. So it is quadrillion. So I don't know if I will see... I don't think Microsoft will be a quadrillion company, quadrillion dollar company in my life. I don't think that'll happen. Maybe they'll gain a couple more trillion. Who knows? But that's a lot of money to make and to, and once again, that's about the worth of the company based off assets and cash and all that stuff, right? So if they acquire more stuff, then their market cap goes up because they're just worth more because they bought more stuff. That is worth money, right? And that's why a lot of the times these idiot fanboys, ponies, donkey, unicorns, they're like, oh, they got to make all the money back of the 69 billion that they spent on them. I was like, that's not how it works, okay? When you buy a house, I said this already in the previous video. When you buy a house, right, do you have to pay the bank back for what you borrowed? I mean, yes, but you have the house. Now, what you pay back in equity becomes cash. But if you pay the house in cash, right, the equity is fluid. It's not fluid, but that's what it is. The equity is equivalent to cash, depending on the market, obviously. So you could turn around the next day and say, yeah, you know what, I'm going to sell it, get rid of it, boom, and then you get the money back. So it's worth what you paid for it, plus the changes in the market. It's the same thing with Activision Blizzard King. They bought it for $69 million. Of course, they paid more for what it was worth because they had to retain people, blah, blah, blah. So, so let's imagine it was worth, it might have been worth 50 something, maybe, or 60. I don't know. Maybe 60 something, I think. And they tacked on a couple billion, right? So that's what they bought. That's what it's worth, And once again, the market goes up and down, depending on the people. But it's a whole bunch of factors. So donkey, unicorns, and ponies are dumb when they say that because, they're just dumb. They don't understand business on certain levels. But whatever. I mean, I'm no genius either, but I know the basics of basics, and that's basic. But anyway, the FTC failed. Microsoft's growing. Now I was thinking, like, what would they buy? What could they buy? I mean, that's a lot. And what makes sense and what would be like, yo. Now, I always said Sega, they should buy Sega, blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's necessary to buy Sega. Sega's on their own path. They kind of like doing what I want them to do. They're going back and doing some old games, remakes and stuff. Although I do want the Yu Suzuki collection. Let's go. Come on, give me that. I want it. I know you had it for the Dreamcast. Give me for the Xbox. I'll be happy. Anyway. So I was like, okay, all this stuff with Grand Theft Auto, they just released a second trailer. I just watched a Digital Foundry thing. They're busting orgasms all over their ceilings about, oh my gosh, the shadows of this. And well, the shadows were just regular maps. But they're like, oh my God, there's ray trace reflections here. And then, oh, but that's a screen of space reflection on the coffee table. But then there's global illumination, ray trace, global illumination, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, they're having super orgasms all over this game. It's not even out. It's just like trailer. We'll see when the actual game is. That's what they were saying. We'll see when the actual gameplay, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whatever. You guys are goofy. But I was thinking, with all this kind of rhetoric, like, oh, PlayStation got the marketing rights for Grand Theft Auto, blah, 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 da, da, da. If Microsoft bought Take-Two, if Microsoft bought Take-Two, thereby owning Rockstar, they were owning Grand Theft Auto and all the 2K games, the sports games, that would be the most hilarious extra slap through the internet. I mean, that seems like what they're doing. right? I mean, listen, Microsoft buying Bethesda, that was Sony's fault. Sony got too greedy. They trying to exclusify everything, and Microsoft was like, "Oh hell, hold up." That's our organic situation, right? That's our organic relationship there. PlayStation. What was Morrowind on? It wasn't on the PlayStation. It was on the Xbox. What was Oblivion on? Well, first it was on the Xbox. I think it was best on the Xbox anyway, because PlayStation 3 was hot trash garbage. Anyway, they've had a longer relationship with Xbox than they did PlayStation, blah, blah, blah. PlayStation don't have that much money, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they have more money now that they're not doing the marketing deal with Call of Duty. I heard somebody say that too. So now they have the marketing deal for Grand Theft Auto. I still don't understand that too, because it's like, look, if I'm Rockstar, right, I would be like, you don't get exclusive. No. If you want to put your badge on the back of our trailer, pay up. That's it. That's the whole discussion. No exclusivity, no this, no that, no blah, blah, blah. You want to put PlayStation 5 Pro, shot on PlayStation 5 Pro, whatever. Extra money, that's extra. PS5, that's this price. That's this price. What you got? It's business. Microsoft would be like, okay, we'll pay for whatever. And that way, I think, as far as a whole, for the industry as a whole, I think that's a better move. I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but that's a better move, because exclusivity isn't just about games on systems. It's about perception, right? And so if you're a casual customer, not affiliated with any brand, don't even have a console, like this gen console yet, and you see Grand Theft Auto Xbox commercial, like, oh cool, I'll get an Xbox. It's Grand Theft Auto PlayStation commercial. Oh cool, wait, which one should I get? Then they go ask. Most people say go get a PlayStation because it's better, because they got more exclusives, which is kind of a lie, because they ain't got no games. And they go and ask an Xbox person, like, yo, get an Xbox, you got Game Pass, that's all you need, boy. I'm like, well, how much is that? $20 a month? Oh, okay, bye-bye. It evens the playing field for competition. For years, Donkey Unicorns and Ponies, competition. Now they're trying to spin it and say, oh, Xbox not the competition anymore because they gave up on the console race. And I'm like, y'all are so dumb. Y'all are so dumb that the handheld Xbox joint venture with Asus leaked today. Some specs, some pictures leaked today. But what happened to no hardware? Their name's on it, right? It's going to have an Xbox OS on it, right? See, the problem with Donkey Unicorns and Ponies, for the most part, is that they can't understand how this industry is changing. And what Microsoft is doing, and people don't realize it yet, but what they're doing by doing like joint products with Asus, and then probably with I don't know, whomever else steps up who wants to get in MSI, or whoever else is making handhelds, right? It's like, yeah, all right, let's go. You pay for the license, you build the product, you give us a little bit of it. I mean, based off the license, and then you get the rest. We just got to put our OS on there, boy. That way, Microsoft doesn't have to fit the bill for the manufacturing, right? They don't have to incur the cost of the R&D and manufacturing. I mean, I'm sure they're doing some R&D on their side, and they're supposed to be making their own, but whatever. We're just talking about partnerships right now, right? And so the partnerships are a way for one, Xbox to be in more places. Not just, it's a Steam Deck. You can kind of have Xbox stuff on it, but it's looking backwards. It's not like you pick it up, you press the button, say, oh, hi, this is Game Pass. Sign in or sign up. And go beep, boop, boop. And then, if you got Game Pass already, beep, boop, boop. You're in. You're good to go. If you don't, beep, boop, boop. You sign up. That is another avenue, another device for Xbox to live on. And that is the motivation. That is the through line, is getting Xbox on as many devices as possible. Because if Xbox is ubiquitous with everything, then it becomes like Fortnite. Fortnite is everywhere, right? You play Fortnite on the old consoles, you play them on the new consoles. You can't play them on a toaster yet, but that's coming. PCs, you play it on phones, right? Answer me this, Donkey Unicorns and Ponies. What console does Fortnite make? What hardware do they make? Because it's one of the most popular games on the planet. Millions and millions and millions of people are playing that every day. They're making billions of dollars monthly, I'll assume. I'm not sure about that, about that last back. So the answer is they don't have a hardware. They don't have a hardware that Epic designs and Epic manufactures and, oh, this is our first party game for our first party hardware. That methodology of thinking is old school, it's antiquated, and it's about to become extinct because Microsoft looks at the market. They don't say, oh, we want to do this, that, and the third. They say, what's going on? They say, why is Fortnite so popular? This, that, and the third. There's reasons, right? And they say, one factor is that it's everywhere. Where are your kids playing? On their phone. Don't they have an Xbox to play? No, they don't. Don't they want it? No, they don't. They don't want a console. They have their phone. They have their tablet. And when they're tired of playing Fortnite, they flip to the manga. And they flipping through manga pages. And when they're tired of doing that, they go to YouTube. And when they're tired to do that, they go back to Fortnite. All on the same device. In their pocket. In their book bag. They take it with them. That's the whole point. Is to adapt and adjust to the market conditions. The market conditions, in this respect, is how are people playing video games? And the people we're talking about is the newest generation of video game players. And that's where you want to capture. You want to capture that because they grow up and you can create products that will grow up with them. That's one thing that Nintendo has done, sort of, kind of, but not. They get the youngest, you know, and the thing that they have captured is that the adults who have kids were Nintendo kids. And so they buy Nintendo products for their kids. And then in the between, in the tween and between times, and young adult times and adult times of those kids, so the kids of the kids who are Nintendo, they have a Switch, and so they'll either jump to their phone, which they'll do that anyway because they get a phone, and then they'll jump to their laptop because they're going to get a laptop for school because it's either a tablet or a laptop, either or, same difference really. And then that's kind of the progression that's happening now because laptops and tablets are ubiquitous with young adults because they're kind of required for school. And so they're going to have them and they're going to play games on them. That's it. And then once they get that taste of the PC, they're like, oh, and then they get a more powerful laptop for gaming. Maybe they'll graduate to a desktop. Maybe they'll get a console. Who knows? You know, depends on the different people, different folks for different strokes, for different cloaks. So Microsoft is looking at the newest generation and how they will evolve product-wise, and also the new products that come out to accommodate the new and growing and getting older generation, to have a product for them for different ages and such. You know, for us, for Gen Zers, I'm a Gen Zer. I like consoles, but I'm not opposed to something new that makes sense and can still give me that console feel, but also can be additive. Because honestly, consoles they're kind of dumb. They kind of suck because they are one purpose, one thing. You play games on it. Now, yeah, you can watch movies on it, and you can play YouTube and all that stuff, but your phone can do that. So it's like, oh wow, that my phone could do that. So that's not really a selling point for $500 console, $700 console. Not. So, I mean, the theory of the Microsoft hybrid, I mean, sounds good, but I'm hoping that it's somehow more, if that makes sense. But I don't know what the more is. And this is the point where you say, oh, consumers don't know what they want. You have to show them what they want, or whatever Steve Jobs said. And I had a whole rant about that. And that's a yes and a no. Anyway, we're not going back there. But I think I am more, I mean, the ease and use of a console is attractive, but I would like to be able to, say, go into PC mode or whatever easily and say, hook up a mouse and keyboard, download some apps, do the PC thing. You know, that would be dope. If I could freaking go onto Blender on my Xbox, on my next Xbox, and do some, as Alex calls it, I'm not doing Futanari. Let's just be real, because I ain't got the skill for modeling, and no. So sorry, Alex. I don't have a 5090 either. So, but according to D-Batch, the PlayStation 5 Pro is strong enough to do Futanari. Anyway, oh my gosh, I was watching D-Batch got into an argument about women, and it was it was kind of sexist, but not really. But I was like, is he joking? And then I think he was, but I was like, D-Batch is falling down into the dark place. He fell through that couch real quick. Yeah, nah, okay, we're not talking about him. Anyway, I've been rambling long enough. But yeah, the FTC thing, I'm kind of glad that's over. That way, you know, Microsoft, I mean, they have enough studios to keep it moving for a minute, but I want to see what they do. You know, I mean, they are the biggest publisher, and they will probably continue to be the biggest publisher. And I'm curious. I don't want to see them ruin what they have going, if that makes sense. You know, I don't want to see them gobble up everything, gobble, and then kind of not ruin, but I think what happens when we have these acquisitions, there are some streamlining, you know, and like for Bungie, for instance, right? There needed to be a lot of streamlining because there was a lot of bloat in that company, and the engine was just hot trash garbage, and they're still using the same hot trash garbage Halo engine. I forgot what it's called, but I'm like, y'all, it does. A lot of things didn't make sense, and that's why a lot of those guys got fired. You know, Sony was like, look, Sony is on trim, but they got their shears out, and they're like, they're making a nice PlayStation hedge. And people got to go, and they're like, what's your job? What did you do in the past 6 months? There's the door. What's your job? What did you do in the past 2 months? There's the door. Firing mad people. One, because it's like, y'all are getting paid too much for doing not too much. And two, hey, Sony's trying to make money. So they gotta cut jobs. And you know, I mean, there's something to be said about redundancy, but I think Bungie has so many people, and they fired, how many did they fire? Like 900 people or something, or 800 people? They fired like almost half of what was there, and I'm like, damn. And now they're releasing, I guess they're calling them expansions now for Destiny every quarter or something. And I'm like, is that more than what they were doing before? Or they just changed the name. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't play Destiny anyway. And Marathon's gonna fail out the gate. Dude, Marathon's getting his lunch ate by what's that other game called? Everybody's playing it. I saw some clips of it. I was like, yo, that looked more mad fun. Did I describe it? It was like there was this one scene where this dude was on the ledge. I think I did. I'm gonna do it anyway again. He was on like on a building, a ledge. It was kind of blowed out, and he was like looking down. There was like a spider bot or something down there, and they jumped up, and it like came toward him like, and it landed in like the little landing he was, and he like jumped back a little bit, and it like exploded, and it was like all explosions, all crazy. I was like, yo, that looks like mad fun, yo. And I go and look over at Marathon, and I'm like, it's like, dude, it looks like a coloring book. It doesn't. It's like, where are all the particles and cool? I mean, there are some cool stylistic things about Marathon. Know what Marathon feels like? It reminded me, because I just saw the trailer again, like yesterday. It reminds me of a wannabe Tron. Like, oh, it's digital people when they get shot and they turn into pixels. Like, I'm like, I mean, sure, but I think Tron's cooler. Like, if they had Tron as an extraction shooter, that might be all right. I mean, just for the aesthetic. I kind of like the aesthetic. But anyway, I'm rambling again. Preach. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the FTC not messing around with Xbox no more. Do you think Xbox is going to start buying up stuff? And what do you think they should buy? I say Take-Two, just to mess up everybody. Just to take over the industry once again. There was another option that I do not remember what it was. People were saying, like I said, Sega or whatever. Square Enix. I'm like, no, Square Enix, no. Don't even do it. No Square Enix. Just do whatever deals with them. Don't buy them. That is a bad. Do not buy Square Enix. It is a bad look, bad investment. I think that they're the definition of bloat, because they spend so much money on these games and they don't do what they need them to do. They're spending too much money on these games. It's kind of like the Sony issue. They're spending too much money on these games and they don't make enough money on the sales wise. And failure, fiscal failure, financial failure. Anyway, I appreciate. I'll talk to y'all next one. Till to wait.